folks, it's Ben. We're here with an appliance repair. In this case, we're dealing with our General Electric electric stove. And the issue we're having is that the burner light's out, or the burner on lamp is on all the time, even though all the burners are off. This all started when we actually burnt out an electrode. Over time, they wear out and it arced and of course went out, and that caused the burner light to remain on even though we turned the switch off. We did replace the element, which is easy, just pop it out, pop back in again, but the light still stayed on and it doesn't work. So that means we probably damaged the switch with the big current draw of that defect. So now we're gonna go ahead and replace the switch. First thing, let's go ahead and kill the power to the stove. So that's this big breaker set here. It's typically 220. The other 220 we have here is our dryer. That's easy to look at because it's new. But there's our stove. We can verify that by the fact that the clock's now out, our light is magically off now, and that there's no way we can turn it on. The stove is completely dead. So let's go ahead and pull it out because we'll need access to the back panel. Now to remove the top, to get to this switch, because this is the burner that went bad, we have to go ahead, and there's 4 screws in the back here. So if you notice, we've got one right here, and then there's 2 along the back, and then there's one on the end here. The 2 along the back attach a steel plate to the top, and we need to remove this. For the record, all our screws are 1/4 inch. I'm just using a little hand driver for that with a little socket for it. Now you should be able to pull this unit forward and we can get access to our switch here, and you can see there's 5 connections there. Switch is actually held on from the front, so you want to pull this straight out, and you can see there's 2 little Phillips there. So we're going to take these out, and that'll let our switch fall in. So with those screws, it just kind of falls out. So here's my switch. It has this piece of paper on the top, which I'm guessing is to insulate it against sparking or something along those lines. Not 100% sure, but it's not paper, it's papery. And I'm gonna go ahead and, thanks to this video, take a picture, but if you're doing it at home, take a picture of the connections. And I'm sure they're gonna be kind of similar to the others, but you never know. So we've got the red, gray, blue, another blue, and a purple that go against the back of our switch. But before we do anything, let's take a look at our replacement switch to make sure it's the same. To find this replacement switch, I take the model number, which on this stove happens to be down here by the little storage tray here, and go to a couple websites, verify which part it is. In this stove, it's a post 95 GE, so I think you've got 2000 watt burners and 1350s, and then you find the appropriate switch because they will be different. So here we go, here's our new switch. And as it can see, 5 connections, just like the other one. And yeah, the front looks the same as well. So let's go ahead, and I'm just gonna swap these wires over and put the new one in. So here's our old switch. Nothing shows blown on it, but hopefully this is the issue. I can't guarantee it yet till we actually complete it. I will say that these are the 2 main contacts for sure, just based on, by switching them 1 for 1, you can't get them wrong either, but they're rubber insulated as well. So imagine that these are the high current ones that are going down to the stove element. Let's not forget our piece of paper, or paper-like substance, and stick that there, and then we're gonna go ahead and shoot towards the hole again, like so. Got our paper up there, and I'm gonna reinsert my 2 little Phillips screws to get this tight. So with that re-screwed in, and I put the cap back on, making sure it was all the way in the off position. We haven't attached the back yet, but let's go ahead and repower the stove up because we're theory okay now. And let's make sure that this was our issue. Come back to our stove. We got the blinking 12 or 10. The biggest thing for me now is if we turn this on, it does turn the burner light on and off again. And we weren't getting any heat at this element. So if I kick it up to max and just hold my hand over it, yeah, there's heat coming off of it again. So perfect, we got that one fixed. So let's go ahead, kick the power off again, just because you don't want to accidentally touch anything back there and have it go sparky spark. We'll kill the breaker again and put the 4 remaining bolts back in the back. Once again, the stove is now dead. No lights turn on for anything, so cool. And let's just rest the back to where it was. And and it's just a matter of holding it and putting the screws back in, and away we go. Step I caught myself on, there's a lip here along this back metal sheet along the top of the control board here. So as you're bringing this back, you want to push the metal down to make sure that we go over that bump and then it's kind of a bang in on each side. But I got one screw in and I'm like, oh yeah, and see it popped out again. You got to make sure that metal pops in underneath the back. So that it goes together well. And that's it. We're now nice and flush across the back with our 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the back there. So we're nice and flush. I'm gonna go ahead and preemptively, that's still warm. How do you change a burner out? It's easy. You just lift up the front straight out and you can see the little teeth there. And there's a little socket right there that you can line it up into, give it a push, and then it should sit down into it. Be sure to check for the model of your stove, because 9495 there was a switchover between 1500 burners and 1350, and the burner size is actually different. So we had originally bought a 1500, it didn't fit, it was too long, had to go back, return it and get another one that was a little bit shorter, fits in the hole just fine. I'm gonna go ahead and push the stove back in because I'm feeling pretty good about it. So the stove's back in, let's go ahead and hit the breaker. There you have it, stove's installed. The time is actually off because we just lost our power. It's actually like 10:55, so it's not too far out. But now our stove is working. All the burners turn on when they're on and off when they're off. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. This is for probably most GE stoves. Honestly, I can't say I have a lot of experience with lots of different stoves, but so be it. And if you'd like other videos, feel free to ask about this stove. This one's over 10 years old at this point, but it's been serving us quite well, so we're happy with it. It came with the house, so eventually we'll probably replace it with an induction stove. But until then, you folks, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Here's a loud kitten. Oh no, she's losing stuff behind the fridge. That's not cool.